You two people, my goodness. I go away to New York Comic Con for a week. And while I'm gone, the entire Pokemon market went to zero. That's what all the thumbnails told me while I was gone. I wasn't on top of content like I typically am, but I would scroll through and see what the clickbait was all about. A lot of crashing red arrows and going to zeros and doom and gloom, and oh my goodness. So I got home yesterday, sat down this morning, and said, what in the hell is going on out there? Am I cooked? Did I leave with a bunch of value on my Pokemon sealed and come back with just having worthless collectible trading cards that people enjoy? Let's look at some actual numbers, shall we? Because I do think, clickbait aside, and I am sure I clickbaited the hell out of this, that it does seem like things are slowing down a little bit. It almost feels like we hit the summer slowdown in October. And I don't know if it's just the market can only stay hot for so long, the real world nonsense that continues to go on day after day, government shutdown, wars everywhere, all sorts of craziness, not wars anymore. You need a scorecard to keep up with things. So what I did, like we typically do, I normally do this at the end of the month, is I went in the market movers, pulled up Scarlet and Violet Sword and Shield booster boxes, and we are going to look at a couple of different things here just to get a macro vibe on the market, because I do think there actually is some concerning stuff. So this is Sword and Shield booster boxes over the last 30 days. Now, you don't see a ton of, over here on the left is where you see price crashes. And by the way, if you want access to this same tool, the link is in the description of the video down below. You do see some stuff going up, but one thing that I noticed, and I talked about this at the end of last month, and I'm going to switch this to a 14-day view here in a second to just kind of hone in on October, since we're about halfway through the month. The volume change on Sword and Shield over the last 30 days is big. A lot of this stuff is not selling as much. So this volume change tracks how much is sold over the previous 30 days compared to the last 30 days. And you could see a lot of big red numbers here to start things out. Pricing wise, things have stayed relatively okay. Evolving Skies has basically been flat. Fusion Strike down slightly. Lost Origins down slightly. Brilliant Stars flat. Chilling Reign flat. Now this is over the last 30. Let me switch this to the last 14. And you notice, look at that, red to green. A little bit more red on the 14-day chart. If we just look at the last 14, Fusion Strike still down. Lost Origins down. Now Silver Tempest is down. Brilliant Stars down, Chilling Reign down, and these aren't huge downs. 3 to 5% is almost noise, but there is a lot more red on here than green, and you still see the same thing. The volume change on most of these sets, especially the more expensive ones, is all in the red. Now, let's do the same thing and look at Scarlet and Violet. Now, Scarlet and Violet, over the last 30 days, we do see a slight correction on Paldea Evolved. It got a little juicy. A lot of other green on the chart, and the stuff that is red is barely red. Now, some of the stuff that is green is just barely green, but there are some, movements up for sure. The volume change, some red, green, red, big red there at 31% for Obsidian Flames. Not surprising given the huge price spike that it underwent recently. A little bit of red, a lot of green on Surging Sparks because it had a reprint. Red, green, a bunch of red on Journey Together, still a newer product, and a little bit of red on Stellar Crown. Now, when I bump this one down to 14 days, we see a lot more red over here. Destined Rivals over the last 14 days is down 14%. The volume changes, also a lot more of those in the red. So, at a quick glance, in my mind, what looks like, and this is just a very macro take, that things got a little juicy at the end of September. Things got a little hot, and we are in a little bit of a whoa. We got a little too hot too fast. Let's just chill things out here for a little bit. Now, I am not in full panic mode. I'm not divesting my entire sealed Pokemon position or anything crazy like that. But we really haven't had, and I don't know that this is even it. We'll see where the narrative swings over the next few weeks to months. The current insanely hot market has not been tested. This has been going on for almost a year now, basically 10 to 11 months. And it has not faced any real adversity at all. It's just basically been product comes out, it's hot. Product comes out, it's hot. Product comes out, it's smoking hot. You know, it has not been tested at all. And I think we all do need to remember, as great as it all is, the numbers go up on the spreadsheet. This stuff, as in sealed Pokemon, for the most part, actually isn't that rare. They do print a shit ton of this stuff. The thing is, there's so much confidence in the marketplace that everyone is willing to hold it and not actually sell. So it is artificially scarce. And the trick is, it needs to stay that way for enough of the rip and shippers, the collectors, the people that just want to rip product, to slowly churn through the product that gets trickled out to them. There's a balance there. It's an ecosystem. I talk about this on the sports card side of things all the time. The market is an ecosystem. You have the product coming out. People are gobbling it up and hoarding it because of the sealed investment. Yes, that's us. You have the middlemen, the rip and shippers, breakers, those sorts of things that are peddling the product. And then you have the people that want to actually open the product, whether that's buying it directly from Walmart and Target, going to a rip and shipper, buying a box on the secondary market. And there is a push-pull between all three of those. All three need each other. You could argue that the actual people that just want to own the cards hate us the most. They don't really need us. But everybody else needs each other. The us sealed guys and girls, we need those people willing to open the product because it takes inventory out of the market. We need the rip and shippers. They're the middlemen in a lot of cases. They buy up a lot of the sealed product from us and from other places to then deal out to the people that want to open product. The trick is everything staying in balance with each other. If one of those things comes out of balance, then we run into swings. And if people see things start to go down, and if people start to go, maybe this isn't as safe as I thought that it was. Because remember, in this last 10 to 11 months, you have a lot of people coming in that don't give a shit about any of this stuff. All they see is a sealed box of cards and numbers on a chart go up on a graph into the green, and then they sell it for more money than they bought it for. That is their total attachment for Pokemon. And yes, I just described myself. I don't care that much about Pokemon. Take this more from like the Rudy perspective of, he doesn't really have a big childhood attachment to Pokemon, neither do I, but I do like hoarding it, whatever, investing in it, whatever you want to call it. I've just been doing it for a few years longer than a lot of people that just jumped in. I started 3-4 years ago versus the folks that just started in the last year. So most of my cost bases are much, much lower. I am much more protected against a crash. Even if everything dropped 50% tomorrow, I would still be in the green overall. I'd be a lot less in the green, but I would still be in the green to some degree. The trick is do the people that just bought in at the inflated prices, that bought more recently, that was buying, Obsidian Flames at 250, 260, 275 a box, when they see that stuff start to dip down and it gets red, do they get cold feet? Do they have the patience to wait out these normal market ebbs and flows that happens all the time? If they don't, that's when things become a little bit of a slippery slope. Because, as I stated earlier, there's a lot of this stuff out there. If people start to panic and they start to dump it onto the market, there's not going to be enough people on the opposite end of the spectrum to chew up all that supply coming to market at once. And then folks start undercutting. Then the prices start going down. People start panicking. Prices start going down more. It's a race to the bottom. And it is a long way down to the bottom because there is a ton of this stuff printed. I know that it seems like there's not. I get it. I can already hear the comments now. The Pokemon market is huge. There's tons of people. There's boys and girls and children of all ages. And you are right. But they still print a crap ton of this. And these more recent sets, they printed an even larger crap ton. The only reason why this all works is because right now, people are willing to hold. They are willing to hold because the prices keep going up. Are they still willing to hold once the prices flatten or start to get into the red? That is the real question. And that might be what we're about to see. Maybe 2 weeks from now, when we do the end of October, little market check-in, things have gotten completely back to normal. Maybe it's just money shifting from the older stuff into the newer stuff with mega evolutions. That has been extremely hot. This has not been affected at all. It's basically been sitting at $300 a box, essentially since release. It's been sitting at $300, not impacted by this at all. At all. Are people starting to get sick of the increased prices on Sword and Shield? It's out of sight, out of mind. People just not care about it as much. Same thing with some of the Scarlet and Violet stuff. Everyone's on to the shiny new object. People don't care about the old stuff anymore. Now we're in that waiting game where we need the market to burn through the inventory that's out there to see the prices start going up again. It could be a ton of different reasons. It could be the real world sucks. Maybe a lot of people in government really like Pokemon and they don't have a job right now. Who knows? It could be, and it most likely probably is, a little bit of column A, B, C, and D. And the market's just been extremely hot. Holidays are coming. Maybe people just want to lock in profits. The crypto market just crashed. Maybe it's back up again. I can't keep track of it. It switches every other day. Regardless, there are a lot of outside factors going on right now. And if people start to dump inventory onto the market, things could definitely get more red on the charts. Now, some people will say that's buying opportunities. Some people will say this is the beginning of the end. Nobody actually knows. If someone is sitting behind a microphone telling you they know what is going to happen, unless they have a DeLorean parked behind them, they are lying to you. They have no frickin' idea. Myself included. Always keep that in mind. That's all I got for you, boys and girls. Those are my thoughts on the current state of things. Curious for your thoughts and comments down below. What are you seeing out there? What are you thinking out there? If you are an older sealed investor, you've been doing this for a while, or you're new and you bought in at these, higher prices. Are you scared? Are you nervous? Are you actively selling stuff for anybody, new, old, and different? Are you still hoarding? Are you buying more? Are you saying, this is it, I'm loading up even more on these slight dips and things? Not everything's going down. Prismatic is still performing extremely well. Some of the specialty sets, I didn't pull any of those up, are still performing extremely well. But some of the booster boxes, we're seeing decreased sales volume, some slippage in prices, and we'll see where things go from here. That's all I got. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.